People think I need my kids to look after me at 75, but I don't. That's what I tell them, gently. Because for me, aging didn't mean surrendering my independence. It meant rediscovering my rhythm, building my own daily peace, and taking pride in the little things I still do for myself. Hi, I'm George. I suppose you could say I'm not your typical retiree. My days don't revolve around golf courses or cruise ships, and I don't spend my afternoons playing cards at the community center. Instead, I found a quieter, more personal rhythm to my life. I'm 75 years old, and I live alone in a small but cozy house nestled among the trees in upstate New York. It's the kind of place where the seasons really make themselves known. Crisp autumns, snowy winters, and summers that smell like fresh-cut grass. My home isn't grand, but it's filled with memories and little comforts I've collected over the years. Every morning, I wake up to the gentle light streaming through my kitchen window. I still make my own coffee just the way I like it, strong, with a splash of cream. There's something grounding about the ritual, the familiar clink of the spoon, the warmth of the mug in my hands. It's a small act of independence, but it means a lot to me. It's funny how people respond when they hear that I live alone at my age. Some tilt their heads with sympathy, as if solitude is a burden. Others say, "Oh, that must be hard," or ask if I ever get lonely. I can see the concern in their eyes, and I appreciate it, but I wish they could understand what I've discovered. The truth is, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, I've never been more in touch with myself than I am now. I spend my days reading, writing in my journal, and reflecting on the life I've lived. There's a peace that comes from having the space to think, to remember, and to dream about what's still ahead. Of course, there are moments when I miss the way things used to be. After my wife passed away 8 years ago, and my daughter moved to California for her career, the house felt emptier than I ever imagined it could. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't tempting to pack up and follow my daughter across the country, to be closer to family and sunshine. But deep down, I knew I needed to build this chapter of my life on my own terms. I wanted to discover who I am when I'm not defined by my roles as husband or father, but simply as George. This is my time to grow in new ways, to find meaning in the quiet, and to embrace the freedom that comes with a different kind of retirement. Every morning, I wake up at 6:30. The world is still quiet, the sun just beginning to peek through the curtains. There's a gentle hush in the air, a sense of possibility that only early mornings seem to hold. I take a moment to breathe in, feeling the comfort of my warm bed and the softness of the sheets. It's a small ritual, but it sets the tone for my entire day. Not because I have to, but because I want to. This is my time, a gift I give myself before the world stirs. I've learned that the way I start my morning shapes everything that follows. It's not about obligation, but about intention. I choose to rise early, to greet the day on my own terms, and to savor these quiet moments of solitude. I open the curtains, letting the soft morning light spill into the room. I make my bed. Yes, I still do that, every single day. It's a simple act, but it gives me a sense of order, a small accomplishment before breakfast. Then I head to the kitchen, where I grind my own coffee beans. The sound and smell of the grinder are familiar, almost meditative, and I find comfort in the repetition. The smell of fresh coffee fills the kitchen, warm and inviting. It reminds me that I'm still here, still able, still capable of creating comfort for myself. There's a quiet pride in these small acts of self-care. Each morning I'm reminded that I have the power to shape my own experience, to find joy in the ordinary. Breakfast is simple: oatmeal, a banana, and a boiled egg. I've come to appreciate the beauty of simplicity. These foods nourish me, giving me the energy I need for the day ahead. Preparing breakfast is another ritual, a way to care for myself and honor my body. I take my time, enjoying the process rather than rushing through it. I sit by the window, my breakfast in hand, and watch the world wake up. The street outside is quiet, the sky painted with the soft colors of dawn. I notice the little things, the way the light changes, the gentle sway of the trees, the first signs of life as neighbors begin their day. It's a peaceful moment, one that grounds me and fills me with gratitude. Birds chirping, sunlight shifting through the trees. Their songs are a gentle reminder that life continues, that each day brings new opportunities. I find comfort in these rhythms, in the predictability of nature's routine. It's a quiet symphony that plays just for me, if only I take the time to listen. There's something healing about a quiet morning that belongs only to you. In these moments, I feel connected to myself and to the world around me. My routine isn't just a series of tasks. It's a way of honoring the day, of finding peace and purpose in the ordinary. And as the morning unfolds, I carry that sense of calm with me, ready to face whatever comes next. These little rituals, making coffee, tidying up, feeding the birds outside, aren't just tasks. They're daily affirmations, proof that I can still care for myself, and that feels good. I've never been a gym person, but I do have a routine. After breakfast, I do a few light stretches. Then I walk a mile around the neighborhood. Sometimes I chat with the mailman or wave at neighbors walking their dogs. These moments, though small, give structure to my day. I also keep my brain busy. I do a crossword puzzle every afternoon, read the paper, and once a week I try to learn something new, like how to use a new app on my phone, still figuring out that part. This isn't about fighting age. It's about honoring what I still have and using it. Movement keeps me mobile. Curiosity keeps me alive. I clean the house every Tuesday. Nothing fancy, just enough to keep things fresh. I water the plants, vacuum the rugs, wash the sheets. There's pride in a clean home, especially when it's one you take care of yourself. I used to take these things for granted. Back when my wife was around, we split the chores. After she passed, I realized these weren't chores, they were acts of love. So now I do them as acts of love for myself. My home is my sanctuary. I keep it safe, warm, and clean, not for guests, but for me. Dinner isn't sad, despite what people assume. I light a candle, put on some jazz, and cook something simple. Stir-fried veggies, baked chicken, or my favorite tomato soup with grilled cheese. I set the table. I sit down. I eat slowly. I've come to enjoy these meals. They aren't lonely, they're peaceful. I taste the food. I think about my day. I give thanks. Of course, sometimes I eat leftovers straight from the pot, but even then, it's mine. That sense of self-reliance feeds more than my stomach. The hardest part about living alone isn't the cooking or the cleaning. It's the silence. There are days when no one calls, when the only voice I hear is mine. But I've learned not to fear it. I fill the silence with music, with prayer, with the rustling of leaves outside. And every Friday, I call my daughter. Not because I have to, but because I want to hear her voice. We talk about her job, her kids, her garden. Silence, when accepted, becomes peace. It's where I find clarity, healing, even joy. Living alone at 75 isn't for everyone. It's a reality that can feel daunting, even a little intimidating when you first think about it. The silence in the house can be overwhelming at times, and the absence of another person's footsteps or laughter can echo through the rooms. But over the years, I've come to see this solitude not as emptiness, but as a space filled with possibility, a canvas on which I can paint my own days in my own way. But for me, it's a gift. It's a chance to rediscover who I am, beyond the roles I've played for others, father, husband, colleague. Now, I get to be simply myself, and that's a rare privilege. I've learned that independence isn't just about walking without help. It's about waking up with purpose. Each morning, I stretch and feel the aches and creaks of age, but I also feel a sense of anticipation. What will I do today? What small victories will I claim? Independence is about making those choices for myself, no matter how simple they may seem. It's about knowing you can take care of yourself and feeling proud of that. There's a quiet satisfaction in making my own breakfast, in keeping my home tidy, in managing my own affairs. These are things I once took for granted, but now they feel like accomplishments. One moment that sticks with me. Last fall, I slipped slightly while raking leaves. It was a small thing, really, but in that instant, I was reminded of my vulnerability. The ground felt a little less steady, and for a split second, I wondered if I'd need to call for help. Nothing serious, but as I steadied myself and stood upright on my own, I felt this surge of pride. It wasn't just about not falling, it was about proving to myself that I could handle a challenge, however small. That moment stayed with me, a reminder that strength isn't always about big gestures. I didn't have to call anyone. I didn't panic. I took a deep breath, gathered myself, and carried on. It was a quiet victory, but it meant the world to me. I simply adjusted and kept going. That's what living alone has taught me. How to adapt, how to keep moving forward even when things don't go as planned. That's when I realized true strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the kind of strength that shows up in the small moments when no one else is watching. It's the resilience to keep going, to keep believing in yourself, even when the world feels a little heavier than usual. It's in those little wins we don't tell anyone about. The moments when you finish a task you thought you couldn't, or when you find joy in something as simple as a cup of tea by the window. I'm not here to say it's easy. There are hard days. There are mornings when the bed feels too warm to leave, and evenings when the silence feels a little too deep. There are times when I miss the company of loved ones, when memories come flooding back, and I feel the weight of years gone by. But there's beauty in still showing up for yourself day after day. That's real strength. It's about honoring your own needs, taking care of your body and mind, and finding meaning in the routines that shape your days. I found comfort in the little rituals, watering my plants, making my morning coffee just the way I like it, sitting quietly with a book as the sun rises. These moments ground me, reminding me that life is made up of small joys, not just grand adventures. Sometimes I write down my thoughts in a journal, or look through old photographs. I let myself remember. But I also look forward. I set small goals for myself. Maybe it's trying a new recipe or calling an old friend. These goals keep me moving, keep me engaged with the world. Living alone at 75 isn't for everyone. It's a path that requires courage, patience, and a willingness to embrace both the challenges and the rewards. But for me, it's a gift. It's a chance to rediscover the music I love, to dance a little in the kitchen, to laugh at my own jokes. It's a chance to befriend myself, to learn what makes me happy, and to find peace in my own company. I've learned that independence isn't just about walking without help. It's about waking up with purpose. It's about choosing to greet each day with curiosity, to notice the world around me, and to appreciate the beauty in the ordinary. It's about knowing you can take care of yourself and feeling proud of that. It's about celebrating the fact that you're still here, still trying, still growing, no matter your age. I'm not here to say it's easy. There are hard days. There are moments of loneliness, of doubt, of missing those who are no longer here. But I've learned to let those feelings come and go, to honor them without letting them define me. But there's beauty in still showing up for yourself day after day. That's real strength. It's the quiet courage to keep going, to keep loving life, even when it's hard. And that, I think, is the greatest lesson of all. If you're living alone, or know someone who is, share this video. Let them know they're not alone in their independence. And tell me in the comments, what's one daily habit that gives you strength? Like, subscribe, and join me here at Golden Life USA, where aging isn't about slowing down, it's about rising up with grace.